Hello, good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, depending on wherever you're joining us from this lovely evening. I welcome you to another edition of our TQ webinar series. In this this series, we are going to be introducing you to the Internet of Things. You're welcome. If you're joining us, depending on wherever you're joining us from, whether you're joining us on the Zoom channel or on YouTube, could you please proceed to the chat section and introduce yourself? We would love to know your name. We'd love to know where you're joining us from. And we'd also love to know what you hope to gain in today's webinar. It's important to know that this session is being recorded. So you attending this webinar means that you're consenting to being recorded in today's session. The objectives for today's webinar is basically to give everyone an understanding, a basic understanding of IoT, to learn about how IoT, that is Internet of Things, is in use today, and also share a couple of practical examples with you. We're also hoping that at the end of today's session, you desire to learn more and even look to build your own IoT systems. Before we proceed, I would also like to tell everyone about TechQuest. TechQuest STEM Academy, we're a non-profit STEM organization, and we provide education technology content, resources, and tools for the delivery of STEM education. So we deliver ICT, digital literacy, and STEM programs. And on your screen, you can see the various links for you to follow us on our various channels. Our website is tqstem.org. And then our social media channels are also listed on your screen. For us to get into the matter as quick as possible, I will also introduce Kingsley. Kingsley Ebruke is our facilitator for today. I'll run through his short bio, and immediately after that is done, we'll start the session with his presentation. So Kingsley Ebruke is a project manager who specializes in delivering information technology projects. He currently works with one of the oil majors, that is BP PLC in the UK. He works closely with experts from big and small tech companies globally, providing sustainable solutions to medium to complex challenges faced at work, new ways to use technology to be more efficient, and importantly, to protect our environment. Kingsley studied electronic engineering at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and has a master's in information technology at Heriot-Watt University in Edinburgh. He's a certified project professional, and he also takes several technology short technology courses, to keep himself up to date. His lovely wife and 2 daughters make sure he's busy at home, and in his free time, he enjoys cycling and swimming. Please join me to welcome Kingsley. You're welcome, and it's lovely to have you here this lovely afternoon.
Hello, hi everyone. Hi, this is Kingsley here, and my daughter, Fejiro. So she'll be supporting me she's going to be my able assistant. She'll help me with my demos and also tell me when I'm saying rubbish, something that is not applicable. She'll tell me, stop, daddy. So, right. But before I go on, I need to say I like to ask a lot of questions. No answer is a silly answer. Every answer is good. So I'll get cracking on. All right. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. Olumide, is that okay? Can I go ahead?
Yes, please. That's fine.
Okay, I'll share my screen. All right, please let me know if you can see the slide deck.
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay, great. So let's get started then. So Internet of Things, let's get into it. So like Olumide said, what we want to do today, we want to talk about what IoT is. We'll look at examples of IoT in our everyday lives. Then we'll go a little bit deeper into what the architecture is behind IoT. Architecture in simple English is the design, what the construct. And then we'll talk about the future, what sort of possibilities. And this is where I'll be looking to you to give me examples of what you think, where you think IoT could play in your homes. Right, so let's get cracking into it. Let's get started. So first of all, what is IoT? Can anyone just put something in the chat window, what they think IoT is? Straight away start asking questions. So in the chat window, let's see what IoT is. I'm going to open up the chat and see what the comments are coming. Chat, yeah. So any ideas what IoT is? Then we carry on. Okay. Right, while we do that, I'm going to introduce someone else who, if you can see it on the screen.
There's a comment from YouTube by Miriam Akitude Owoseni. Miriam says IoT is Internet of Things.
Brilliant. Thank you, Miriam. That's really good. I wish we could just end the presentation on that. So yeah, I'm going to invite someone else to come in. If you can see the screen, there's a picture on there of my other daughter, Samantha.
Who's my sister?
Who is Pedro's sister. Samantha, where's Samantha?
Oh, hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, very good. So thank you, Samantha. See you later.
Bye.
Right. All right, so this happened a few weekends ago. So Samantha, we were in the kitchen listening to Alexa. Who knows what Alexa is, please? Anyone ideas? Ahmad, Miriam, what is Alexa? So while the comments are coming back. I'll just crack on because of time. Alexa is one of the devices built by Amazon Web Services. Listens to you. You give it instructions. It turns those instructions into commands, and you can use it for a variety of things. You can use it to play music. You can use it to control your lights, control your garage door, control and place orders, do your shopping. So it's a fantastic virtual home assistant. So she was listening to a song on Alexa, and she says, "Fantastic, that's my favorite song. Quick, Alexa, send the song to my phone, send it to my printer, send it to my best friend, Sarah, send it to my headphones, and also send it to the fridge so that anytime I open the fridge, I can hear the song playing back." And Phaedra and I looked at her and said, "You can't do that yet." And she says, "What?" Okay, let me put on the pointer so you can follow me. And she says, "What? What do you mean I can't get the music on the song on my fridge?" And she goes into a strop until we say, "You know what, ice cream solves all problems in the world." And say, "Yes, ice cream is fantastic. Forget about the song." So now it's a very basic example. So IT takes every device in your home and is collecting data. What is data? To take 2 steps back, so data is information. It's any type of information. It could be different types. That's for a different session. But so IoT, an IoT-enabled device is something that is able to collect and take that data and send it either from one device to another or from one device to a person. So that's what IoT is. And that's the Oxford definition, the interconnection via the internet of computing devices embedded in everyday device and objects that allow them to send and receive data. Right, so let's carry on and look at examples of IoT in everyday. Is a friendly security guard who we shall call Dave for this example. So, figure my distance, and someone knocks the door, and Dave is at the gate.
So we walk in there, and then all of a sudden, "Dave, we've got an intruder!" And then they run to the door, and then he's like, "Why are you sleeping on the job?"
Thank you, Figure. Very good. So this is what we have, and I'm sure many of you have different type of experiences with Dave at the gate. Fast forward to the present, we have a device. So this is one example of many other devices that provide this type of service, but this is one I think would be perfect to illustrate Ring. It's called Ring. So what's Ring? Ring is a video doorbell that connects to your home Wi-Fi, and to your home Wi-Fi, and anytime anyone presses the bell, you can see the person, you can speak to the person. So for example, this is a postman delivering a parcel to my house in Houston, and he rings the doorbell and says, "Hello, parcel for you, sir." And there is me at the bottom, and I am somewhere in Okokomaiko. I've gone on holiday and millions of miles away from Houston. You can't hear me. Hello, you said you can't hear me very well. Hello, Olympic, can you hear me very well? Should I slow down?
Kafila, can you hear him? I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just talk a bit slowly so that everyone can follow. But the example I was trying to give was this device called Ring allows me to see and speak to anyone who is at my door from wherever I am in the world, as long as I'm connected to a Wi-Fi, connected to the internet. So this is a postman in Houston, and this is me in Lagos, real time. That's real time means at the same time, at the same instance, speaking back to the postman and saying, "Oh, please just leave the parcel at the door. I will come down and get it. I'm in the bathroom. Sorry, give me a few minutes. Thank you very much. Goodbye." Bros, I beg, can you go and collect the parcel by the door, please? Then, and that's a very simple example. So this is Ring, and it's taking some of the senses that we have, which takes me on to another question that I'd like to ask. Can someone tell me in the chat window, what are the 5 senses that we have? So is it jollof rice, plantain, rice, and my 5 senses that we have? Yeah, great.
Yep. So we have touch, smell, taste, hear,
hearing.
Yeah, hearing and feeling.
Okay, well done. Good. So this is your everyday doorbell that has been fitted with the sense of sight, the sense of speaking, and also the sense of perception. So that's it can detect when someone comes close to it. Thank you, Uso Otonefebo. That's brilliant. And Itoro, thank you for responding. Touch, smell, taste, see, and hear. Exactly. So that's one example of using IoT in our everyday devices. So it's transformed our crude doorbell into something that you can use to interact from anywhere you are in the world. Another example is your telephone. So I'm pointing here with my red pointer. I'm pointing at a device here that some of you may or may not recognize. And so this is it. Again, my able. So you need to move back so that it can see it. Like that. Yeah. Now she's going to make a phone call with this device. So
this may or may not take a while.
Right. Okay.
I don't know how to use this thing.
Okay, go.
Right. So this.
All right, that's going to take a long time. Okay, that's going to be pretty bad. Anyway, so the point is, this is some of you may recognize this, especially the moms and dads. I'm sure you remember how you used to use it to make prank phone calls or call a number to listen to what the time for the day was, and it's evolved into the Nokia that is this one, and strangely it works till today. Now we have your iPhone and your wristwatches. So again, there'll be so many other different types. There are Samsungs, there are Huawei's, there are other brands that offer this service. But the point is this: we've taken your everyday communication device, we've added sensors to it. I will focus on the wristwatch. So this is the Apple Watch. And if you can see, it has 4 sensors at the back. You see 4 circles there. What you're doing, it's reading your heart rate. Why is that important? So it uses it for a host of really interesting useful things. So healthcare, for example, it can tell when your heart rate is normal or it's rising or it's very settled. So when you are inactive, when you're active, and it takes all of this data and it transmits it to either to your phone, or if you program it, you can send it to your next of kin. But thankfully, and again, really important, if it could, if you permit it, it could send information over to emergency services on your phone. Let me explain. But thankfully, it doesn't do this every time that your heart rate rises and goes. For example, if Olumide is in his class, in the classroom, and then Olumide's teacher says, "Oh, Olumide, wow, well done with your homework. That was fantastic. Can you come to the front of the class and tell everyone how you got this answer?" And then Olumide's heart rate starts to rise because he knows he just copied the answer from his friend. And he's thinking, hey, they have caught me today. How will I do this? So the phone wouldn't automatically say, "Oh, rising heart rate, heart attack, quick, call the emergency services." No, it's one, you have to give it permission. Two, it takes a combination of different factors. So but this is one example of how we've taken your wristwatch and your phone, we've added a lot of sensors into it, and it's now an intelligent device that can send data to anyone you allow it to send to. The other example here is your lighting. So this is a bulb. It's called a smart bulb that works with either with Alexa or Google Home. And from your phone, you can switch it on, switch it off, change the color, change the hue, make it bright, make it dim. You can do lots of things with this Wi-Fi enabled bulb. So you might be on your way home and you just bring out your phone and switch it. Please switch on the lights in the study. So I want to get in and start work. So that's another example. I'm moving on to the next one, which is a thermostat, and this is it's called Nest. So Nest is a smart thermostat that connects to your Wi-Fi to control your heating and cooling in the house. And for the more advanced models, it can also detect when someone is in the house and it can adjust. So you could be, again, you could be driving home, it's really cold outside, you don't want to get home and the house is really cold or really hot. You can, from your phone, switch it on and set it to a temperature so that when you get home, everything is nice and cool for you. That's one example in heating, in heating your home. The final example on this slide is an interesting one, and I'll pause here. So this is me. We we went cycling. I went cycling with my friends, and while we were cycling, one of my friends had a crash. He fell off his bike, and but he was fine. He got up and said, "Okay, guys, let's carry on. Everything is okay. Nothing wrong." But before we moved, he said, "Hey guys, I need to do something very quickly." He had to stop and switch off an alarm, but none of us heard any alarms. Dude, what alarm are you talking about? And he explained that his bike was fitted with a sensor, a pressure sensor. So anytime the sensor detects a impact, a significant impact, meaning he's crashed into something or he's falling off on the ground, it waits for a fixed amount of time. If there's no response from him to say, I'm okay, it triggers an alarm that sends a message to his next of kin, to his wife, saying, your husband has been involved in an incident while cycling. At the same time, it sends an alarm to the emergency services, giving them his exact location so they can work out the quickest route to get to him. So it's fantastic. It's a normal everyday bicycle, but he's fitted one device on it, one sensor, and that means it's now an intelligent bicycle. He can fall off, and he will, if he's alone, there's a little bit of assurance that there will be help if he needs help to come to him. And I'm sure for many of us on the call, it may not be new because many cars, many new recent model cars have the same sensors fitted in, especially with the what's it called?
Parking pilot.
No, not the parking pilot. The crash, when you have a crash.
Oh, emergency brakes.
Emergency brakes. But when you have a crash, what's it called? When from your steering wheel, what the pillow that pops out. Well, anyway, and anytime that's
The airbag.
the airbags. Thank you. Anytime the airbag is activated in some recent model cars, it triggers off that emergency alarm to services. So many new cars have that in it. So I will move swiftly on, and that is a very brief, high-level bullet points of where you will find IoT in place. So health monitoring, security and surveillance, and in connected homes, or call them smart homes. So homes where you have different devices talking to each other. You wake up in the morning and you do a big stretch. Your wristwatch detects that you've woken up. It sends a message to your coffee machine. The coffee machine switches on and it's making a cup of coffee. And then it also switches on the heating so that as soon as you get up, the house is starting to warm up. It switches on the hot water in the home and the boiler so that it starts to boil water ready for you to have a shower. Or even the entertainment, you like to listen to a certain radio station when you wake up. It switches on Alexa and it tunes to that radio station so that as soon as you are moving about the house, it's giving you the latest news and information that you want to listen to. So it's fantastic. And we see it every day. It's with us, it's us all around us. You just have to look a little bit and you'll find examples around you. I think we have one more example before we go to the quiz, Olumide. So just give you a heads up. I think after this is the the first poll.
All right.
This is the final quick example. It's around agriculture, the use of IoT in agriculture. We you know how we use IoT in agriculture to detect things like the humidity, the amount of moisture in the soil, the amount of light that the plants are exposed to, and it's called precision farming. So precision farming is you are as close to real time as possible. You are monitoring the different factors that allow you to grow your plants or grow your produce, and you are controlling it so that you are efficient with energy, you are efficient with your resources, your water. So, for example, it's a very hot summer and you have sensors in your farm that detect the moisture is very low. Once it detects that is below a certain threshold, it triggers the irrigation system that switches on by itself and sends water around the farm. So it's all automated and it's using sensors in the different devices. I've put some pictures on here of very funny looking cows. These are cows that are wearing virtual reality headsets. It's not something you will find, it's not very common. I think they're still testing it, but the idea here was if you gave a cow a really good experience, it produced even better milk. I'm not sure what those cows are watching. They can't be watching action films or anything.
They were crying.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, this is scary, stop." But anyway, it's just to show you that cows we can try to make cows look intelligent. If is it working, I don't know, but the milk is good. Right. Oh, Olumide, I think the next thing is the quiz.
Awesome. Everyone, there's a quiz on your screen if you're joining from Zoom. So on mobile, please just select the quiz option, but on your laptops, the quiz would have popped up by now. If you're joining us on YouTube, there's a link that we've dropped in the description box. Please just take a moment to just open that in a new tab and quickly fill the polls. We're looking forward to your responses. If you've seen the quiz, please just drop yes in the description box. We're still looking forward to more responses. We have only 30% responses. So if you're yet to take the poll, please take a moment to. Thank you. 38%. Thank you. Or if you need help, could you please just drop what you need help with in the description, and our team will be available to help you with whatever challenge you're facing. %. Awesome. Yes, please. Please submit. Once you've answered the questions, please submit. Okay, we now have 75 more responses. A couple of seconds and would help end the poll. If you're joining us on YouTube, the link is in the chat box, in the live chat section. It's just click on the link and answer the questions. Thank you. Okay, so I'll be sharing the results now with you, Kingsley. Awesome.
Fantastic, thank you, Olumide. So I'll carry on. So yeah, that's really good. And Pedro just responding to one question from Cam about what, enter, yes, what does interconnect mean? So interconnect means to connect two or more things together. And a question from also, is Bluetooth a part of IoT? Yes, it is. And we'll go on to that in the next few slides. So now let's take a look at the results from the poll. 89% believe that a sensor is a device that detects or measures an event or physical property. Yes. Well done. 11%, something that provides products or services. No, not really. Something that provides products or services. Well, you could argue it. There's a point. But as a lecturer in this class, I say no. But you can argue it. Let's not go to court about that. But let's go on. Next one. What allows digital devices to interconnect and transmit data? A sensor, a global positioning sensor, a smartphone, a network. 78% a network like the internet or the Wi-Fi. Well done. So it's, of course, you need the network to do that. The sensor is what picks up the change in an event or a property. What would you need in place to allow a refrigerator to detect an item stored in it is due for replacement, and then place an order? Like you have milk in the fridge, or carrots, or like Olumide, your cartons of beer. A digital network to transmit the order. A dictionary with big letters. Thank God nobody picked that. That would have been very.
The dictionary would freeze.
Yes, dictionary in the fridge. Not really a good idea. Be serious now. No. A sensor, of course. So the two answers are correct. We need a sensor to detect the item is running low, and then the network to transmit the order. So well done, guys. Well done. So let's carry on and move on. And thank you for taking part. Just check if there are any questions. So Olumide, please, if there are any questions, just feel free to interrupt so we can take them.
That's fine. So if you have any questions at any point, please just drop them in the chat box and we will attend to them. Thank you.
Okay, great. So now I will switch to my assistant who will do a quick demonstration of what she's built. Okay, let me hold this for you.
All right.
Please Olumide, can you see what she's holding up?
So we can see.
Okay, I will stop sharing.
Of course.
Still stop sharing.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is a circuit that me and my sister built. So this is called a water detector. So you have the different parts that connect the electricity and create something that does what you tell it to do. So
what is it called?
A water alarm.
Yes.
So once you put these in water.
This is a cup of water. Okay,
just normal water. Once you put these in water, it should make an alarm. All right.
So she's turned it on and it's quiet.
Not in water, not in water, not in water, in water.
Okay, now take it out of water. And get in the water. For one more time. For luck. Hey, that's it. Don't finish our alarm. All right, let's go right on. So, what's she demonstrating? This one was going all over the place. Okay, move forward, please. So now let's go back to sharing. What's Federo demonstrating? Federo. All right. Okay. One step back. This is a high-level IoT architecture. Essentially, it's made of three parts. You can go on the internet and you find plenty of information, really useful. But let's keep it simple for everyone. It's three parts. First part is perception. What are we looking for? What are we sensing? Change in temperature, change in pressure, change in the light around us.
Change in atmosphere.
Change in atmosphere. And then the next layer is called the network layer. So the network layer in everyday life is your home Wi-Fi, your internet connection from your phone or from the broadband you have in your house. And the top layer is the application layer. So this is what sits in the cloud. Can I ask anyone to just put quick comments in the chat box what you think the cloud is? But I think that's for a completely different session there because it will take a whole time. So what Federo has demonstrated is a sensor. So she's taking, can you bring it please, Federo? Don't bring the water, just so she's taking the little devices, put it together, and so anytime this detects that there's water, it will send off an alarm. So think of it, what's the practical application of this? You put this in your bathroom, anytime there's water on the floor, it sends off an alarm that somebody has left the tap running and it's flowing all over the place. Think a little higher, you have a dam that is providing electricity, okay? You have a dam that is providing electricity to a community. It needs to make sure that water is contained within a certain place and should not leak out to other places. You set up alarms around it so that it detects any water is flown out there. There's an alarm that's gone off. Problem with what Federo has built is that it is massive. You cannot fit this into smaller devices. So
it could be adapted to fit those
it needs to be a micro sensor. So I will go back to sharing, if that's okay. Okay, sorry, Olumide, can I go back to sharing and then?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thanks. So yeah, so this is if you can see where the red dot is pointing, this is a Raspberry Pi. It's one example of taking sensors, putting them on a small space, small as you can, so that it can fit into small spaces, into your wristwatch, for example. And you program it to detect something. You program it to detect it. When it detects something has changed, it converts that change into an electrical signal that it transmits over the network layer to the cloud, where there are range of different devices that do the smart thinking. And now let's think about Alexa. If you remember at the very beginning, I said Samantha said to Alexa, Alexa, that's my best song in the world. Send it to this, send it to that, send it to my friend, send it to the fridge. How does it really work? Because Alexa is one small device on the table. It surely it cannot have all of this sitting inside it. And that's correct. All Alexa has is a sensor to listen to sound. It converts it from voice to text or to commands, and it transmits it to the powerful services that Amazon has sitting in the cloud, and Amazon Voice Services, which again is one example of. There are many other providers. Microsoft has theirs, Google has theirs, and there are so many other small startups that are offering this type of service. It transmits it to the cloud, to the application layer where the real intelligence happens. And this is what it looks like. So this may be a bit difficult for
some people to understand.
Yes, but wait again. So a sensor is a device that is able to detect changes in an environment, measure things, temperature, pressure, and transform them into an electric signal. Well done. And now this will make some people really happy, and
some people are really confused.
Yes, and some people are really confused. But for those that are really happy, I'll just talk very briefly about it so that we don't lose the kids on this call. This is an example, and this is something that I work with day to day. This is Microsoft. This is what Microsoft have to offer. So you remember the slide before this, we showed 3 layers: the sensor, the network, and then the application. This is more about the application. So for example, Alexa takes your voice commands, transmits it to some really powerful services that sits in the cloud. Right, for those that are interested, I'll just talk you through this at a very high level very quickly. So the IoT Edge. Can anyone just have a stab at what you think IoT Edge means? Again, remember, no answer is silly. Anything is right. It could be the edge of your table. Anything is right. Just give me some examples. Olumide, please just feed them back if you
Sure.
get some. All right, great. So I'll carry on while the comments come back. So the edge devices collects, the IoT edge devices and devices collects the measurements that you are sensing.
That's different.
That change. It sends it off through the cloud, well, through the networks to what's in Microsoft World, so it's called the IoT Hub. Inside the IoT Hub, we have something really intelligent called routing logic. So routing logic, it looks at the data and says, right, you are streaming, you're about videos, you go that way. You are about temperature,
so
you go that way.
So it's like the bus.
It's not a bus, it's just a traffic warden. You, here you go, you stop, you go, you. But it does it very intelligently. Some of it goes to stream analytics. Analytics is super fast. I think there was another session around data science. this is where the data scientist lives, and this is their paradise. This is heaven to a data scientist. So it takes all of that data and starts to look for patterns. It looks for connections, sequences. It takes a combination of different factors and says, right, based on you, and you, I believe this is what we can, it draws up inferences that help the user to make decisions. Right, some of it again is sent to a function app. A function app is, think of it as an event trigger. So it is, right, anytime I get this type of information or this type of command, I will do this. That's at a very high level. If we want to go into more detail, I'll be happy to send over some more information, or Olumide, if you have more questions, let me know.
All
so
right.
This is where the analytics goes. Analytics goes over to UI. UI means user interface, and the data, because we get so much data that flows in. Just imagine, okay, this is me with my watch, and there'll be maybe 60 million people that have this type of watch, and it's transmitting all this data at the same time. There'll be bytes and bytes, kilobytes, petabytes, terabytes of data flowing into one place. What do you do with it? You have to store it. So we have a cold store, a warm store, and a cold store. A warm store really is a store that you go to very frequently. You go there almost every day, right? Okay, right. Tell me about this. Right, give me this information. You go there very frequently. A cold store is, right, I'm just going to keep you there. I'm not going to need you for the next 90 days or 30 days. I'm just going to keep you. If I need you, I'll come. Don't worry about it. This is one example of a warm store. It's called the Cosmos DB. And it also goes to the user interface, where we use things like Power BI. Power BI is Power Business Intelligence, where you use graphs and charts and different kind of thing, diagrammatic tools to sense of the data. Like you have a big Excel spreadsheet of ones and zeros. It makes no sense. But if you put it in a chart and then you see a pattern starting to form, you say, right, now this makes sense. So that's what UI is user interfaces that help you to interpret bulk data. And machine learning is where, right, we've stored petabytes of data in our archive. That's in the code path. And we are now taking our time to understand the patterns. So this is where, so this route is more, right, real time. The data is coming live and direct. We're looking at it, we're making decisions straight away. This path to the cold store is reactive. So it's where you want to do your predictive insights. So it's, right, for the past 3 months, we've noticed that anytime the weather is this way, power generation reduces to this number. Right, so is that a repeating pattern? And then you start to take historical information to make predictions. And machine learning is teaching your machines to recognize those patterns so that it gets better and better at making correct decisions.
So basically like machine school.
Like machine school. Thank you, my able assistant. And business integration and user management. Right. Any questions, Olumide, so far?
Cam was interested in how the project was built, right? The water sensor.
All right, the water sensor.
Was made.
Okay. Do you want me to pass over to her to talk about it? I'm looking at the time. We've got 15 minutes, 30 minutes left. Okay, I will round this up very quickly and then I'll come back to Fedro. Is that okay? Any other questions?
Yes, that's fine. No, I think the other questions has been answered, right? That's the process, how the connectedness work. And I think that's what you just explained.
Okay, great. So let me round up quickly, and then I'll pass over to Fejiro to do that.
So if you still have questions, please drop them in the chat box, and we'll attend to them as soon as we get them. Thank you.
Okay, Olumide, we've got the second quiz, so let's go for the poll.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks.
All right, the second poll is now on your screens if you're joining us on Zoom. For those on YouTube, the link will be dropped in the live chat shortly. So please just click on the link and then take the questions. The questions are the same questions that have been asked on Zoom. If you're on Zoom, please take a moment to answer the polls so that we can understand how well you've understood what we've discussed so far.
All right.
If you've answered your poll question, please just also like we did earlier, just drop a yes in the chat section so I can know that you've answered your own set of questions. So you've taken all the 4 questions. Okay, we have 45% of responses currently. If you're having any issue, please let us know so that we can resolve that. There's a question from also Oton Efebo. I'm not sure I got that. Can you please be explicit or just clarify what you mean to say? Thank you. Okay, 50% of responses have come in now.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, we've not answered the poll question. Could you please take a moment to do that? We'll be closing the poll in a couple of seconds. Thank you. Right.
Okay. Can I answer Uso's question? Well.
Yes, please.
All right. So Uso, this is a really good question, brilliant question. Why does it take a short amount of time for IoT to finish? Brilliant question. And you're leading us down a really, really interesting part of IoT, which is the networks. So it's collecting all this information so quickly, it's transmitting it at the same time, and it's also getting the responses back very quickly. So I can be on my phone and I can tell it, someone is ringing my doorbell in Houston, and I'm in Lagos, and at the same time the person is pressing the doorbell, I'm getting I can see the picture, and I can talk to the person like I'm standing behind the door. Oh, just leave the parcel outside. It's coming to so there's two parts to it. So there's the creating the bandwidth. Bandwidth is not a good word. Let me explain. Creating the network, the section of the network, making it big enough for the data to go through at the same time. So it's cutting a big enough section of the internet for the data to go through.
So it's kind of like a tunnel. So you're trying to squeeze through a tunnel. That much data can't get through at one time. So you have to make it big enough for all the data to get through.
So the better your Wi-Fi, the better, you faster you get to response. And then also how the data is transformed across the internet. So first of all, it's voice, and then it's changed to electrical signals. And then in between the transmission, there may also be conversions to other formats that are even smaller and quicker to transmit. So it's traveling really quickly across the internet to different locations. Once it gets to the other receiving end, the other end too has to be quick enough to interpret and send it back to you. It's almost, think of it like a radio station. So you're listening to Beautician FM. I don't know if that exists, but let's call it Beautician FM. As the person is speaking, you're getting the voice on the radio, and it's almost real time. It's almost the same thing. So it's voice being transmitted over the radio waves, but this is electric signal being transmitted over the internet to different devices. And the devices in the clouds, the services in the cloud are very powerful, and they're able to walk through huge volumes of data very, 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 very quickly. So I hope that answers your questions, but your question. If not, we can always talk about it a bit more. All right, thank you, sir. Right, so let's go back to the poll. Once connected to the Wi-Fi without replication, smart devices can be controlled from a smartphone. 100%. Hold on. What is comprised of millions of simple terms? The Internet of Things. Hold on. Which of these devices with the right fittings could be considered an IoT device? Nobody selected beds you sleep in. Light bulbs, yes. Blood pressure monitors, yes. Pet or farm animal collars, absolutely. Beds you sleep in, yes. And I will explain. Bed you sleeping the bed you sleep in can also, and not can, is now an IoT device. Scenario: your grandma is no, not your grandma. Let's say somebody's grandma is not really well, so she needs a lot of care, and she has to sleep in a bed, spend time in the bed for most of the day, and she gets a lot of help, the right help that she needs. Right. The bed is where she would spend 65% of her day. That's fine. And that's good. If that's what it is, that's what it is. But you can make it better. You can fit, not that you can, there are beds that are already fitted with devices that can detect when the bed has been elevated, when the pressure on the bed has changed or not. So grandma has rolled and she's falling off the bed, and the bed detects that I'm not getting the same amount of pressure that I would normally get when grandma is in. I'm going to wait for 1 minute, 2 minutes, no response. I will send an alarm. I will send a signal, maybe not an alarm, I will send a signal to her grandson. Her grandson gets a text message. On so bed between this time and this time, we've noticed that someone is not lying down. And you can either delete it and say, oh, that's fine. I just spoken to her. She has gone to the kitchen. She's making her breakfast. Or you could say, good God, she's meant to be sleeping now. Why is she not in her bed? And you quickly call and find out, hey, Mama, are you okay? No, I just went down to make a car. Okay, okay, okay. And next time I use them. So there are beds that are already fitted with IoT devices, mainly for health care monitoring. So light bulbs, blood pressure monitors, beds you're sleeping, pets or farm animal collars, anything can be considered an IoT device with the right sensors fitted. Light, pressure, heat, temperature, anything can be considered. What next question number 4? What is needed? Um, Definitely not glue or sellotape. You will need all the glue and sellotape in the world. Not a long piece of string or rope. No, a hardworking mom and dad.
They will not be able to sleep at
They've
night.
suffered enough already, so please do not ask them to connect all the sensors together again. So yeah, it has to be a Wi-Fi or internet. Brilliant. So let's get back to. Oh, we've got 1 minute left. Okay.
Hello everyone. Sorry, it looks like we'll be extending beyond the 1 hour we initially said. So please just bear with us for a few more minutes. We'll gradually begin to wind down the session. Thank you.
Okay, I will whiz through. Okay, let's go. So yes, I think this is the final slide. Well, towards the final slide. So just quickly look at the different possibilities with IoT. So like we've talked about, monitoring and controlling different devices from your wrist. So it's flexibility. I think that's the key word here. You don't have to, if you don't have to be fixed to one place. You can have very, very portable devices, not like this guy. You can have very portable devices that can fit in your pocket. Cannot fit this.
You'll be looking for a
Yeah,
plug.
that's going to be taking a long time. You can have clean energy. So clean energy means with precision monitoring, you can very quickly identify, right, so this device is going bad. I can order a replacement straight away. Or I find that there's a leakage on the oil pipe because I fitted sensors, pressure sensors on it, and real time I can detect that there's a leakage. I can, send the engineering team to the exact points where there's leakage and say, guys, we need to fix that so that we can provide energy at low cost. Digital twins. What's a digital twin? A digital twin is a digital
version of yourself.
Well, not just a robot version. It's a digital replica of any living or non-living thing. So it doesn't have to be a physical robot. It could be a machine. This is one area of huge potential, but also huge controversy because it means I can fit this phone to Pedro and collect information around how she eats, how she sleeps, how she's active, and then start to build a replica of her on my computer.
Yeah.
But what that also means is that in the future, if I need to employ another Olumide, I can just build a digital twin of Olumide and employ the person.
Like if you only have one employee,
Yeah.
you can multiply the person. You have several employees.
Exactly, which is great because you save costs, but it's not great because many people will lose their jobs. So and controversy at the same time. User experience. One example is Tesla. Tesla is the electric cars. So one example of electric cars. There are other versions. There's Toyota and other brands, but I say Tesla because it's fitted with millions of sensors. It's so good that you want to have a service. You want to service your car. It's not like you drive to the mechanic and say, "Oh, what's you? Please come and help me to fix this battery charger. It's not working." You stay in your house, you book your service, and your service can be done by a software update. Finish. You just plug it into your house, and you get a software update to your car, and that's it. Your service is done. Deliveries to your kitchen table. So this is one of the examples we talked about. Your fridge detects that you're running low on milk, and it's on its own. If you programmed it to send a request to the shops to please, we would like to order 2 bottles of milk. Can you deliver them? And you wake up in the morning and somebody knocks at the door. Yeah, you order 2 bottles of milk, and you're looking. Oh yeah, yeah, yes. Thank you, because your fridge has done it for you, and fantastic. So I think we may not have time for this scenario, but Olumide, I'm happy to send this out for others later on if they want to have a look. So it's a use case. I was hoping we would spend time, get people to think and to talk about uh, what things they would do if they were a lead architect in their company. And now we know there's the coronavirus everywhere, but you need people to start coming back to the office. What kind of solution, IoT-based solution, would you design and put in place for your office? So you will
You
have
think
to
we
think
can take
about.
that for a couple of minutes? We can just discuss around it.
Okay, yeah, sure. So
All right, thank you.
so yes, okay. So can we, if we just have some ideas. So you are the lead architect in your office, and your boss has asked you to, right, I need people to start coming back now. We know there's still the coronavirus around, so we need to think of a solution that will fit into our office, that will help us to keep our people safe, and also help us to figure out if anyone is ill. So can you please put comments in what sort of devices do you think you would change to become IoT devices in your office so they can become intelligent? You know, what sort of,
More than just an ordinary object.
yes, more than an ordinary object, what sort of changes would you be looking for? So for example, you'll be looking for, let me open up the chat. You'll be looking for changes in people's drones, robots, drones, yeah. Yep, you could use drones. You could use drones that will fly around the office, and the drones would be
Just checking the
checking
the
temperatures.
temperature.
Yes, so they have to be non-intrusive. Automatic hand washing, hand basins. Brilliant. So it's, you want to encourage people to wash their hands, so the person isn't thinking that, oh God, there's no soap, and or maybe there's soap but there's no water, and now all the soap is on my hands. So yes, brilliant idea. Robots. Yeah, you could have robots that go around cleaning the
Cleaning
floors,
surfaces.
cleaning surfaces. So anyone stands up from his desk, before he comes back, there's a robot that has gone and wiped the desk clean. So all the surfaces are nice and protected. Brilliant. I think that's good. Thank you, also, and everyone else who's contributed. So like you said, we think about detecting, put cameras in. You could use
The
drones to detect, put portable tests, testing um, around the office, so people who are not very sure can go in, without everyone. For things that cannot be replaced by robots, sensors to check health conditions. Yes, sensors to check health conditions. Yes, that's changes in the temperature. Fantastic. Thank you, Simeon Ola, for that. Protection, safe distances. So it's not just telling people to keep 2 meters apart, but also helping them to keep 2 meters apart. So you could use the robots to
Just send a message every now and then on a
yes.
loudspeaker saying, keep 2 meters apart, please, at all times.
Yes, you could, but it will start to look like a very controlling office. Like, keep the meters apart, everyone, or else you will die. No, but yeah, but communicate is what you're trying to say. So
Yeah.
use interactive boards. Maybe just a quick pop-up on your virtual offices, which is excellent, and which is where most offices are changing to. So there are some big companies that have just said, look, guys, for the rest of the year, work from home. There's no need to come back into the office. So yes, that's another good example.
Or we could be like the cows that have the virtual headsets, and we could meet through them.
No one wants to be like a cow. Picture this. No one wants to be a cow. Does anyone want to be a cow? I don't think anyone wants to be a cow. We can be cows. Oh yeah, I understand. You're saying using virtual reality
Yeah,
headsets
and we
to
could
simulate
meet there,
being in the
see
office.
everything that you would see in the office,
Yes.
work as normal.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, and I think that's where it ends. And Olumide, I'll pass it back to you. This is some information that people can go away and have some more to read about. Thank you, Olumide.
Thank you so much, Kingsley, for that session. So everyone, would like to get a quick feedback from you, what you think or how you think the session went. So if you could please take a moment to just answer these few questions on your screen. So the pop-up is on your screen on Zoom. The link is in the live chat on YouTube. Yeah, we're looking forward to your responses. So with this, we have gradually come to the end of the session. Yeah, so you can see the link on my screen or on your screen there. So please just take a moment to click on the link or look out for your live chat and also access the link from there. Before we go, I would like to just say, if you like to dabble your hands into IoT, the Internet of Things, there's an electronics box. We call it the EE kit, electrical electronics kit, that is available for purchase. It was assembled and put together by the TechQuest team. So the various links will be dropped in your description box if you want to check out how it is made, what it's composed of. There's a manual, there's a set of accompanying videos that can also guide you in learning. So the team will be dropping that in your chat boxes now. So please just keep an eye out for that while you're also filling the poll. So the poll will be up for about 1 more minute to ensure that everyone does that. %72% have responded. Awesome, thank you. All right, on behalf of the TechQuest team and everyone working in the background, I want to say thank you so much to Kingsley for taking time out to introduce everyone to the amazing world of the Internet of Things. Thank you so much for this session. It was really enlightening and eye-opening. Yeah, thank you so much. And to everyone who has taken time out to join us this lovely evening or morning or wherever, depending on where you're joining us from. Thank you so much also. So for further updates, please keep an eye out on our various channels. If you'd like to support our programs, kindly visit tqstem.org/donate or contact us at partner.tqstem.org. would like to have you support our various initiatives. The feedback link is still on your screen and in the description box, tqstem.org/IoT feedback. In case you were not able to fill the form or the survey that came up on your screen, or if you're joining us on YouTube, please just visit the link, tqstem.org/IoT-feedback. We'd love to hear from you to learn how to improve our webinar session. Thank you so much. To get instant updates on our various upcoming webinars, the links are on your screen. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Eventbrite for our subsequent webinars. With this, we have come to the end of today's webinar. Again, I want to say thank you so much to Kingsley and everyone who had made today's webinar a success. All right, bye everyone. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye. All right, bye.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Olumide.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, would there be any? Well, if there are any questions, I'm happy for them to come direct.
Yes,
Or
yeah,
come through you.
accumulate the questions and would provide and would send them to you and also provide answers on our blog page, on our blog. So everyone would also send a communication to all the attendees.
Okay. Yeah, and sorry at the end we didn't have enough time to talk about the alarms. So if there are questions, Pedro is happy to talk about them later on. Yeah.
Okay.
But no worries. Again, thank you for the opportunity.